Hello, everyone, and thank you for coming on tonight. I'm going to talk about A.B.A.T.E and what it's all about. And before we get into that, YouTube just let me know that my show is on because I got two channels. That's why. I'm going to put this link out here so that anybody who wants to come on can come on. But we're going to be talking about A.B.A.T.E and what it's about. Um, So, if you haven't heard of A.B.A.T.E and you do ride motorcycle, check it out. I believe it's worthwhile. And it's a great bunch of people from clubs, organizations who come together for a common cause safety and motorcycle rights. Hey, Jamin, how you doing, brother? And your first question is probably what is A.B.A.T.E? Well, A.B.A.T.E is a statewide nonprofit motorcycling advocacy group dedicated to us, the street riders. AB, the one in Minnesota here has 26 chapters, and each chapter has a representative on our board of directors. Foosball? What, you're playing foosball? Oh, geez, I hope you're kicking some ass. Um, all of our ABATE programs are geared to maintaining or improving the rights and safety of all motorcyclists. Um, though through direct contact with key decision makers and involvement with programs such as Share the Road and Dial-A-Ride, our members play an important role in Minnesota motorcycling. And I'll explain the Share the Road and the Dial-A-Ride in a little bit later. No matter what no matter the motorcycling issue, A.B.A.T.E is a respected authority and serves as a resource for lawmakers, business leaders, community officials, and motorcyclists. Um, Now, if you want to know about the A.B.A.T.E in your state, just Google A.B.A.T.E or A.B.A.T.E of Wisconsin or Joe Blow or Joe Vibrator or something like that, and it should come up like A.B.A.T.E of Wisconsin, A.B.A.T.E of Minnesota, and it should just come up. You know, all right. So, what is A.B.A.T.'s mission? Well, American Bikers for Awareness, Training, and Education. That's what A.B.A.T stands for. American Bikers for Awareness, Training, and Education. Yes, we teach and we try to get others to learn and listen to what we're saying. You know, um, A.B.A.T of Minnesota is the state's largest, most successful proactive state motorcycle rights organization. Now, if you think about that, that's pretty big. I don't know what other A.B.A.T state A.B.A.Ts do or how successful they are or how big they are. Um, I did kind of look and I saw one that was like 21 chapters. Hi, Flossie. How you doing? Um, hmm, Glad I got to talk to you for a little bit tonight. We had a very good conversation. I want to get back into that one later. And yes, I am drinking an Irish beer And I do not condone anyone under 21 drinking. Just so you know, I do not promote that on my page. All right. Did they say how many events they do, what kind of training is offered, and is it from them or different peeps? I will get into that there, Jamin. I will definitely get into that. Um, the one of the the missions of A.B.A.T.E is to act as a watchdog to help protect the rights of motorcyclists. For my state, it's Minnesota motorcyclists. For Wisconsin, it's for Wisconsin motorcyclists. Um, so yeah, they help protect our rights. Encourage and promote favorable legislation. And I can't talk tonight. I had too many drinks last night. I had uh, three Bloody Marys and three Guinnesses last night. So yeah. Encourage and promote favorable legislation for motorcyclists. Promote safe and responsible riding habits through training and education, thereby reducing accidents and fatalities. Now, one thing they do is promote the motorcycle safety training classes that you go to that are your state DMV or another group will put them on. And it usually costs like $150, 160 for 2.5 days. Well, a Wednesday is an evening, then a Saturday and a Sunday. It's basically a morning or afternoon that you go and do your thing. And what they'll do is they will reimburse you half of that training. So if you're in take a beginner training course and you're in A.B.A.T.E already, return in your receipt or whatever they give you so you can get reimbursed for that. Um, like I said, up to half. And beginning, advanced, expert writing courses, they will reimburse up to half for you. As long as you continue your education on writing, they will reimburse you for that. Um, See, they keep members informed about motorcycling issues, promote the positive aspects of motorcycling throughout events, organized rides, contests, community action projects, and interaction with the media. Promote public awareness of motorcyclists on the roadways of participating in our Share the Road program. We'll get into that. Encourage motorcycle enthusiasts to register and to vote to ensure that you have a voice in the political process. Let's see. A.B.A.T.E is an acronym which originally stood for a Brotherhood Against Totalitarian Enactments, and alternatively stands for American Bikers Against Totalitarian Enactments. Yes, and um, I do believe that uh, every our A.B.A.T.E it's American Bikers for Ordnance Training and Education. Uh, in my opinion, it sounds better if you want to get more people involved. Um, but it basically means the same thing. Uh, American Bikers Against Totalitarian Enactments. We're trying to change the we're trying to educate and change the legislature to help pass more motorcycle laws to help us out. Um, Now, on February 1st, we have Biker Day at the Capitol, and I have no idea how much it costs for us to go. And basically, what the cost is you're paying for a bag lunch so that you're pretty much there all day and you're going to be eating. And that's just a bag lunch that they help provide you for. Um, they tell you who your representative is, where you can find them. They give you, from what they tell me, they give you a pamphlet and they arm you with the information you need to go forth and fight for biker rights. Am I going this year? No, because this is my first. Just joined A.B.A.T.E, and I feel I'm not at that point to go to the Capitol. It's also on a work day. It's a Wednesday here, February 1st. So I would have to take a day off to go. And I've already used 3 because my car's broke down. So I really don't want to go. But, I get points for that if I do. And I'll get into that one a little bit later. Now, um, back to Jamin's thing here. Yeah, the training they offer is the motorcycle safety courses, and they, like I said, they offer up to half in rebate for those classes, and that's as far as I know on that. And they do what's called share the road. They go to It's volunteers that go to driver's ed classes within high school or outside of high school. I can't go to the ones in high school because it's during my work hours. So, and I'm waiting for them to get in touch with me because I said I am very interested in doing this. And you educate the kids about motorcycles, motorcycle awareness, motorcycle safety, what we look like, what we do, all that type of stuff. Get them off their cell phones and to look more. You know, that's part of what Share the Road is, and I can tell you more what it is when I get more involved with that. But right now, that's just what I got as a basic understanding is um, educating the kids to get better habits of not being on the cell phone, uh, not being distracted, paying more attention to their surroundings. I mean, if motorcyclists got to have a swivel, their head on a swivel all the time when they ride, these kids and other people in cars can pay a little bit more attention to what they're doing when they're driving and keep themselves off the cell phones. Um, see, like I said, we got Biker Day. That's one event that we do. Um, we've got a A.B.A.T.E um, state rally. I think that's in September. I'll know more about that when that comes up. But yeah, we got our own state rally. We got the Freedom Rally down in Iowa. I think that's in Altoona, Iowa. It's in southern Iowa. But that is an A.B.A.T.E sponsored event as well. A brotherhood aimed towards education. American Bikers for Awareness Training and Education. American Bikers aimed towards Does A.B.A.T.E help with po issues? Um, I don't believe so, because there are LEs in A.B.A.T.E because of their clubs, but no, they don't help with um, police issues. Maybe you can get a talk to them and get a see if they have a lawyer to help with being. Um, now I'm trying to think of the words. Um, yeah, I'm having a brain fart for some reason. Maybe it's all that alcohol I drank yesterday. um, Profiling. Um, I think they're fighting for profiling laws as well, which will help. But if you're profiled, I haven't heard of anything about helping with certain issues or lawyers, but that is something I can talk to them about the more I get into it at my next meeting, and see what they actually do when it comes to the law side. Hi, Gloria. So yeah, we've got like biker day at the rally. We've got our state rally. Like I said, I think it's in September. Um, and I'm looking at our sheet here. We've got, our safety stuff is like dial a ride, which is if I'm drunk or somebody's drunk at the bar and they're, of course, we hope they don't drive home. They call this service our dial a ride, and the people in charge of that will go out there in their vehicle in a trailer, load it up, and bring them home and drop the trailer off. It's a safe ride home when you're out drinking. The Chargers are starting to run. Oh wow! I don't want the Chargers to win. So and that's part of the. That's a dollar ride. Getting bikers home safety, um, getting their bike home safety. Safe, so that they're not riding home drunk and getting into accidents. We get points for donating to Dial-A-Ride. This is our point sheet to win awards for help to get us to volunteer within the organization. And some of the safety that education that we do is train to become a uh, Minnesota Motorcycle Safety Center rider coach, um, participate in a rider education class, basic, intermediate, advanced, expert road guards, participate in road guard training and get certification, which I'm thinking about doing, participate in accident scene management class. Very important. Um, you might just save your life or somebody else's. If so, I don't even know how to look for that, but I know a friend who does. Um, so yeah, a accident scene management class is I would recommend you going. You're going to learn a lot. Um, it's like stop to bleed, Jamin. You know all about that. We had that stop the bleed on the show at that one time. Volunteer to teach and to share the road class. Participate in an accident scene management class. I read that. Organize a training class for members of the Metro chapter. Points for what you said. Well, we get points for uh, to train to become a Minnesota Road Safety Center's rider coach. You do that, you get 100 points. And what every point you get, you tally up on the other side. And I think I was told each 100 points or something gets you an entry to into a drawing at the end of the year. And what this is this is designed to get you to be more involved and into volunteering, into being a lobby for A.B.A.T.E, for the your motorcycle riders. Um, it's designed to get you more involved in your chapter, more into A.B.A.T.E, and it's basically their reward system. You do this, you get this many points, and we'll enter you into a drawing after so many points. And I think it's a pretty neat idea. For on this sheet, they got for A.B.A.T.E above and beyond anything that's expected. It's a membership reward program individual scorecard. So yeah, it's a way to get you involved into doing stuff for the chapter. You know, um, another thing we get points for is being in good standing. That's 50 points. So I've got 50 points coming. I've signed up for 5 years. Um, we get extra credit for if we display the Metro and or A.B.A.T.E Minnesota patches on our vest or in our jacket. You know, um, participate in a membership drive. You know, stuff like that. And like I said, they do have a state rally for A.B.A.T.E. I just don't know. I'll know more about that when that happens. And some of our participation is agreed to serve as a Metro chapter officer, volunteer to serve as a Metro chapter products manager. That's some of their inner workings there. Attend chapter monthly meetings. We get 25 points per meeting. Attend Metro chapter field meal fundraisers. Um, I think they said every second Tuesday or every second Monday, we have a taco night where we get together at a restaurant and go have tacos and meet as a group. So you're getting your you're socializing as well as so you're not always out fundraising, you're not always out doing political things. You're being social, you're talking about things, you're just being people. um, we've been talking about should say, my first meeting. What they did is on their head table where the president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer and all that is, um, the sergeant at arms was in the back of the room, but they had laid out on that table all the events going on up to a certain point. Uh, they had Day at the Capitol up there. They had one club that was out from their clubhouse here in town, about 5 blocks from me. They're having a pig, kind of like a pig roast at the local American Legion here in town on February 4th. And then on February 4th, we got another club that's up having their birthday bash way up north in Detroit Lakes, some or right around there. And then shortly after that, they got another thing going on, the same club. And you got to buy some of these, you buy tickets to, and some of these you don't. And what you're doing is you're supporting the club by going, but they're also donating money to A.B.A.T.E as well. So you're supporting them, they're supporting you. There's another club that's got some kind of an event. I can't remember the event. They're selling tickets for that. Um, they've got this, what is it called? A.B.A.T.E University, where you're learning about. I really don't know because I tried to look it up and I tried to find it. and what A.B.A.T.E University is. And all I know is they talk about political stuff, they talk about safety, they talk about all kinds of stuff, and you can buy a raffle ticket for $100 for something. I got $100 to blow on a raffle ticket. But as a matter of fact, let me look this up here. A.B.A.T.E University. Universe. All right. Let's see if I can find out what it says. That ain't gonna tell me anything. That ain't gonna tell me nothing. Yeah, I'm not finding. It's not letting me look it up to find out what it is. Let me try this way. Link safety. So road noise in the news. So our day at the Capitol. Um, that's all legislation. Thanks and resources. Yeah, I'm not finding something about that at the moment. But I do believe it has something to do with safety and politics. It's basically like the Legion Riders have. They have conventions. We have 2 meetings a year, and all we do is we talk about old business, new business, what's going on, um, what's going to happen, what we would like to happen, where we're at, where we would like to go as a group, that type of stuff. And I believe that's what A.B.A.T University is where they are, where they're going, what's going on, what they would like to do, what has happened before, what new has come up with this, that. So basically it's an information thing and it's a learning thing. And um, I would like to go to that I believe is in April. I found it one time before and now I can't find it again. Um, I think I looked it up in the road noise issues, but I don't have that on me at the moment. So, mine meets at a VFW. From what I hear, a lot of A.B.A.T chapters meet at a VFW or a Legion or something similar. Most of them won't have a drink at the meeting or when they ride. Some will, most don't. And I don't know if their rides are alcohol free. Oh, the wife says they are. They are alcohol free. And when your kickstands are down for the night, you can have a drink. So there you go. Um, yeah. Um, But I do believe A.B.A.T.E University is like the Legion Riders, where it's an informative meeting, training, this, that political thing. You do your thing, and I think it's a 1 day event or 2 day event. I can, if you want to know more about that, let me know. I'll look it up. I'll get it to you. I'll get that information to you. If you have any questions, throw them out there and I'll answer them to as best I can. At this point, I will do another A.B.A.T.E show probably halfway through the year once I've actually been more involved in the doings of what's going on. And I can explain it. I can do more of what A.B.A.T.E is and what they do more. Right now, I just going by what I know, what I've been. Um, but I do like how they have that table set up so we can see who's doing what and what it's going to cost to get in and this and that. You know, on the 4th, I want to go up to the Legion here in town and support the club, the local club that in their pig roast. You know, um, I want to socialize. I want to put my hand out in friendship and say, "Hey, I'm Shadow. I am part of A.B.A.T.E and so and so. How you doing?" And network, make friends, and talk and get to know these people because um, they're normal people like we are. That's like everybody else. But because they wear a patch on the back and it says MC, they get treated like shit. And granted, some of them do deserve to be treated that way because of the stuff they do. But who am I to tell? I don't know the stuff these clubs do. It's not my business. Um, but yeah, it's a great way to find out what clubs are doing and to go out and support them because they do support A.B.A.T.E. Um, some of the stuff that we've done or A.B.A.T.E has done is here in Minnesota is the cell phone law to make it hands free. If you're on your cell phone, you got to be hands free. If not, you get a ticket. I believe it's $125 for each offense. Does it work? Yes and no. Um, it definitely has cut it down, but there still see a lot of people texting and driving or on their phone. They're not hands free. The My feeling is the penalties need to be stiffer. If we make those penalties stiffer, a higher fine or add second offense, you get this another fine and you get jail time. People are finally going to get through their head to stay off their phones while they're driving. And that's one of the biggest things against us bikers is people on cell phones. They don't pay attention. It's been proven that if you're on your phone in your hands and it's up here or it's section, you're not paying attention to what's going on to your right or to your left or behind you. You're kind of glazing up in front of you to watch so you don't hit someone. And that's not even fail safe. You People do hit what's in front of them because they got their phone up to their ear or they're texting. You don't have your full attention everywhere else. But with hands free, it's more possible to keep your attention to where it needs to be. You're going to be looking there. You're going to look there. You're going to use your mirrors. Your head's going to be on a swivel. But yeah, that Minnesota in our state, A.B.A.T.E is responsible for that. They're also responsible for when you come up to the crosswalk at a stoplight, getting sand put in with the paint so that it's not slippery. We've had issues with that. They've also done more clear labeling on non-oxygenated fuel and what it's for. Motorcycles, lawnmowers, collector cars, and stuff. Because there are some idiots out there some bikers, some are 53 days from getting a clue, um, that don't pay attention to things and don't read things thoroughly and stuff. So we got better markings for that so that you can look at it and go, okay, this is for a motorcycle. Granted, we run 91 octane because we can't find 93 here in most part of the states, or the state, I should say. So that's one thing they're doing. They got into this share the road program to help educate teenage drivers about motorcycles and how to look for them and stuff. Our your helmet law. You don't you get you're in a state that you don't need to wear a helmet. Thank your A.B.A.T.E for that. Some states you got to wear a helmet. Well, thank your A.B.A.T.E chapter for thank your state A.B.A.T.E for that too, because depending on this, my under my way of thinking is we got it here because we probably don't have a high risk. This is my thinking. Where some states where they say you got to have a helmet, okay, maybe there's more motorcycle accidents there than there are over here, so it makes more sense to wear a helmet over here and not over here. But you also got to think, what agreement did they do to, the state says you got to wear a helmet, and so maybe there's an agreement you got to wear a helmet because of this, or and they A.B.A.T.E can't fight that, but they can come to an agreement on some things and come back and revisit it and refight it and make it so that you don't have to wear a helmet. Me personally, I wear helmets. Why? Because I want my brain in a soup, you know, brain in a brain bucket. So if it's soup, it's there, at least. But no, I do believe it helps protect your head. I've seen helmets that were in an accident and where the persons came out totally fine. You know, so you're going to do some investigating of A.B.A.T.E of Ohio. Do that, Jamin. Um, I think it's a great organization to get involved with. Um, there are people that will sit there and talk to you fully of what they do and what you can do, how much involved you can get in, and your involvement depends on you. Some people don't do it, just be a part of it and just don't do anything. I want to do more. I want to do more with motorcycle safety, motorcycle training. I want to get involved, and this is one way to do it. You know, like I said, you meet great people. They're all very welcoming. They welcomed me and my wife in at our first meeting. They talked to us and answered all our questions that we've had, all our concerns that we had. So we joined. We joined for 5 years, and I'll get to that bit in a little bit. Um, but and there's more that they're doing. They're like I said, they're training for road guards. Make sure that you're certified and you know what you're doing. Make sure you can handle your machine pretty damn well. I can handle my machine, but when it comes to sharp turns, I can't do much. I'm not turning my head this way or that way. I want to keep putting my foot down to help me make that turn. So I need better training myself. I'm aware of that. So what I'm going to do is go back, take the beginner course, get on that 250cc, do that whole beginner course, and just learn on that lower bike, and then go take the intermediate course and learn on my bike. I may drop it a few times, but that's fine. I'm going to go back and learning. I'm going to keep learning until I And even after I learn how to handle my machine the best way possible, I'm going to keep that learning because it's going to keep this sharp. You're going to there may be new things that come out I don't know, and I'll find that out as it happens. But I'm going to keep learning. You know, it's one thing they advocate for is to keep learning and never stop. You know, so if you're wondering what's in it for you, if you want to join, well, here you go. One, they don't matter what the flip you ride. Nope. You could ride a Honda, a Suzuki, a Yamaha, a Kawasaki, or even a Victory. You can ride a Victory for crying out loud and still be involved and still join A.B.A.T.E or a Harley. For those of you Harley enthusiasts, but like I said, they defend your right to ride and maintain your machine and your lifestyle in the manner that you choose. And as a member, your benefits will include a subscription to A.B.A.T.E.'s monthly publication, The Road Noise. I read their December issue of last year a little bit. I got to go back, reskim it, reread it because I was at work. Full-time lobbyists at your state capitol, monthly chapter meetings to keep you informed of what's happening in your area, support of motorcycle safety training, admission and discounts to many A.B.A.T.E social functions, discounts on parts, accessories, and more at participating shops, reduced insurance rates from participating insurance companies, accidental death and dismemberment insurance policy. Now, they didn't tell me how much that was, um, but I'm pretty sure it's easily to look up and find out, which I'm not going to do right now. So that's some of the benefits of joining your A.B.A.T.E chat. Joining A.B.A.T.E, and to me, the part about fighting for the motorcycle rights and the encouragement of education and the accidental death and dismemberment insurance policy and the people that were there was enough to get us to join. Um, the wife asked about some of the things that they did, and one guy kept saying, "Well, we don't want people to know, so we hand this out when we get there." No, that's not what she was asking. She wanted to know exactly what A.B.A.T.E has done and what they're doing and this where they're going. So, and our chapter president came up and we asked him this, and he came out and he told us what state, what A.B.A.T.E has done in Minnesota, what they're lobbying for, what they're lobbying against, and what they're fighting for. That's how I know about they got us the hands free on cell phones. They passed that law. A.B.A.T.E was behind that. And that benefits all motorists, not just motorcycles. But A.B.A.T.E was a power behind that. That was one of the powers behind that. Kind of interesting, huh? Sometimes your motorcycle advocate groups advocate for everybody and not just a motorcycle. Um, so, how much is your dues or your membership? Well, for 1 year in Minnesota, for a single membership, it's $20. For a joint for you and your spouse, it's $30. Now, the wife and I went for 5 years right off the bat. Boom, we're dedicated for 5 years. Um, so for 2 years, it's 40. For a couple, 60. 3 years, 60. For a couple, it's 90. But now for 5 years, they didn't give us a 4 year. For 5 years, it's $100 for a single and $150 for a couple. And we signed up for 5 years as a couple. Um, we felt that it was worth it for us to do that for 5 years. At the end of that 5 years, if we don't want to be there anymore, we'll just leave, and nothing will be said. But then I've always made that connection with all these clubs and these people, and those are friendships that I want and I want to keep. So A.B.A.T.E, there you go. I read all that from that flyer. um, but yeah, ours meets out at the local VFW 10 minutes down the road in a back room. A sergeant at arms was sitting in the back. We went to their elections meeting, so they were nominating for their officers. Next month there's another nomination process, and then in March they vote them in. So theirs is from March to March, whereas the group I'm in is from December to December. Um, so, anyways, you got any more questions? Throw them out there, and I can try to answer them for you. But my honest opinion is check them out. A.B.A.T.E, check them out and see if it's right for you. Attend. I ask that you attend a meeting. Some of you know who A.B.A.T.E is and have actually been involved and met some people through them. But if you've never been to A.B.A.T.E or signed up with them, go to a meeting of your local chapter. You can go to your state A.B.A.T.E and find out which one is your local chapter. You can look at their map and find out, or you can email their state representative and they'll tell you. Um, but go to a meeting, check them out, um, ask all the questions you can, find out what your state A.B.A.T.E is all about, what they do, what they have done, what they fought for, and what they're fighting for, you know, and then make your decision off that. You don't have to join that night like me and my wife did. We joined that night. And before we joined, she asked me, "Do you feel comfortable on waiting?" And I said, "Yes. I want to join tonight, but I will wait until we get the right answers that we need." And then we talked to the president. We got the answers, so we joined. You know, but yeah, at least check them out. That's all I ask. Ask your questions, and then, like you said, you don't have to join that night. You can wait. You can a week later, a day, week, month later, and then go. You know, you weighed the balances, the good and the bad, and you felt that the good outweighed the bad, so you joined. You know, great stuff, bro. I'm glad you put this together a little better than on the show. Yeah, on the unaffiliated, right? Um, that was kind of, oh, Rob went to an A.B.A.T.E meeting. Let's have him talk about A.B.A.T.E, and it was, well, gee, this is what they did, this is that, and this. I actually had time to go through my brochure or 3-leaf pamphlet that they handed me, um, and look at it a little bit more than what I presented on Wednesday, and was able to inform you more what it is, what they do, some of the things that we do. Um, Now, my chapter I'm in has their own website. Um, A.B.A.T.E of Minnesota, it's called the Metro chapter, and it's actually, um, let me see if I can get this up for you. Do, 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 do. chapter websites, actual chapter. All right. Now, if I don't know how good it's going to come up, but this is my chapter website. Um, metromn.com. You can also go to the A.B.A.T.E Minnesota to find it, but hit the main navigation tab and going that way to find it, because if you just scroll down to find it, it's not going to work. We have on here every issue of Road Noise from last year. We list our state, our chapter officers, and our key chapter volunteers. um, they've got their mission and contacts and links. What is new, which is called the Grapevine, photos, videos. You can buy stuff through them. They got their legislation and road noise. So if I go to um, chapter links, um, I'll just go to different chapters, and they've got our Casa Rio Tex-Mex restaurant, which we do our taco night every second Monday. Couple bars that they do stuff with listed on here. Nothing about A.B.A.T.E University, which I would have to go into the road noise for on that. And oh, that's chapter minutes. But somewhere on here they have, oh, and road noise. So we go into the December 22nd, December of 2022, Christmas, A.B.A.T.E. Um, one of these talks about it. But anyways, find out about A.B.A.T.E University in your area, what they do. Like I said, it's basically just a training. Hey, this is what we're doing. This is what we want to do. This is where we're going to go. This is the things that we're fighting for. These are the things we're not fighting for at this time and why, type of thing. Safety and training, all that. So yeah, check them out. Go to a meeting, ask your questions. They're not going to push you away. They will talk to you. They will answer your questions. You're going to meet a lot of great people, get to know a lot of clubs, and socialize, network. You might meet some of your new closest friends at these places. You never know. So, all right. So, what did I do today for my pets? Today, the wife and I went to an adoption event. And down at For No Dogs Left Behind is who we volunteer with for fostering dogs. We do foster dogs. We got one here somewhere around here. I think she's covered up. Where's Precious? She's covered up on underneath the blanket in the couch there. Um, but she went to the adoption event from 11 to 2, and we sat in our camp chairs. So they limited number of chairs. Underneath where it says her name would be right behind me, Precious Chalk, and that's where we would sit. And people, it gives people the opportunity to come in to a foster event and meet the dogs right there in a neutral environment instead of my house or their house. And it, you know, if they like the dog, if they like Precious, they would go. We tell them to go over to the laptop over here and put your application in for her right away. Because if you wait and then put it in later, somebody else has already put in for it and they go first come, first serve. So if you're the first one, you're going to be the first one that they look at. If you put it in before you leave, well, there's going to be maybe 15 people in line before they get to you, and chances are you're not going to get a shot at the dog that you really, really want. So that's what we did. And they have 5 puppy chihuahuas sitting there, and other puppies that I don't know even the breeds for, but I know a chihuahua when I see one. Um, there, our dog next to us, she she's very skittish of humans, of people, and she did pretty good. She did pretty good, and toward the end, she was back all the way at the wall of where we were sitting and hiding. So one of the coordinators came out and put her on a leash and walked her out to the vehicle, and then the person got up and cleaned up and went out afterwards. Um, so you get all kinds of dogs, all temperaments, and you know ours is very happy go lucky, and they put us right by the front door. So when people come in, she's the first one that they saw, and she saw the first. She walked right up to them, and they started licking them. She started petting them. Did some get adopted? I know you told me previous did. They don't get adopted right away at these adoption events. You have to put in an application, then they do a background check to make sure that you're able to have the dog, how many dogs you're allowed in your area. We are allowed up to 3 dogs, permanent residents in our home due to our county or our city, but we can foster as many dogs as we want. We can only own up to 3. um, and some dogs take longer than others. We have one that was, his name was Toby. He was a bigger dog, about 40 pounds, but he is a big dog. He had a facial tick due to, what was it? Where did Toby have the?
I'm trying to think of it.
Um, he had mage and distemper.
Yeah.
He had distemper really bad, which almost killed him. And so he had a facial tick after all that when he got brought back to health, which I thought was, hey, it's part of his personality, makes him unique. But he started showing aggression more toward our dogs. Other foster dogs were brought in, safeguarding food, treats, and water. So we had to have him removed. And other fosters found out the same thing as us, and eventually he did get adopted um, a family where he's the only dog. So that was a success. Not right away. We had Rusty, who we took him to same type of adoption event we were just at today, and the first person that he met, he bonded right away, and the guy put in for him. He was an older gentleman, retired. Put in for him right away, and that's who he went to. Very nice guy, very loving. He wanted the pet. He asked us all kinds of questions to do this. Yes, he does. He met all his criteria, and he's still with them. He's perfect match. Um, I miss him. I miss Rusty. Then we had his sister Daisy. We had one before that too, didn't we? We had Jupiter, which is now named Juniper, went to someone that we know, adopted her, and she was training to become a, um, not a service dog, one of the dog for your needs.
No, she was going to be an actual PTSD service dog.
Oh, I guess she was going to be an actual PTSD service dog instead of an emotional support. and I don't know. So far, that hasn't gone through. I don't know if funding was a thing for it, but it hasn't gone through. And but she's still there. She's still doing her thing. We had Daisy, which got adopted to a couple down in Iowa. We had to go down just across the border to for a meet and greet, and if it went well, they made the payment. Dog left. Daisy was kind of cool, loppy eared, tongue hanging out, half cocked. She was kind of cool and fun personality. She was pretty cool. Then we had Chibs, which is our mini Aussie that we adopted straight before he went up on the website. And now we have Precious, who I have been very attached to. She loves to lay on my lap. She just loves everything about me. And because of car repairs and stuff, we did not put in for her to see if we can get her. So we took her to the adoption event. Hopefully, my son will put in for her so she can stick around. If not, she's going to go to a good home, hopefully with one with kids because kids just love her and she loves kids. Um, and once that she goes, we're going to try for we're going to get another one to foster. Right now, we're fostering dogs for two dogs for a friend of ours, his Chihuahua Chinese crest mix, and his um, other dog, whose name is Fidget. I think she's a spaniel mix. I said her name and her ears perked up, her head came up. Right, Fidgy? Fidgy. Yeah, she's looking at me like, are you fucking nuts? I'm all cuddled up over here. So yeah, we've got we've been doing this just over a year, haven't we?
Almost a year.
Almost a year. And we've had some wonderful dogs. Our first one didn't work out with us, but the rest have been wonderful, great. All have been adopted, and now it's going to be Precious's turn to get adopted. Hopefully, we hear something in the next couple weeks. It usually takes a little bit for them to go through all the applications for all the dogs before we find out anything, um, what we need to do. You know, thank you, Shocker. Shocker says we're two great people. Thank you very much, sweetheart. Um, don't you hate to think you have enough? Well, um, yeah, we've got enough dogs, um, but there's dogs out there who need a home, and rather than putting them into a shelter and risk getting them put down, this is the best option: is to come into some find someone who can foster dogs for you, get them into a home so they're safe, and then go to adoption events and get them adopted out. And it's a better option. They're not going to get put down. They're safe. They're being treated very well. You treat them as your own pets. You know, all five dogs, all six dogs are in the bedroom with us. Five are on the bed. One likes to sleep underneath the bed for some reason. You just treat them like your own and love them as you would as your own. And I tell you, the rewards is just astounding. I mean, Precious loves my lap, but she also loves my son and my wife's lap as well. But she'll lay there and just let you pet her, and then she'll come up and lick you a little bit. I don't like being licked by dogs, just a thing I have. Um, when I come home from work and sit down, she wants to come on my lap, but then she'll start running around my feet in a circle and out of reach. She's playing a game with me, you know. here, try to touch me, try to touch me. And after a little bit, she'll stop and then come up. You can put her on your lap. But she wants to play that, oh, come try to pet me, come try to get me to come over to you. And that's cute. I love that. She does have a little bit of potty problem. She'll, because of the cold, she likes to pee in the house. But, it is what it is. Thank you, Jamin. Thank you. Typos. It's a new form of Jaminese. um, but Fiji and Lucky are our friends' dogs. They're wonderful, precious. I mean, Fidget, she is actually kind of shy around people, but with us, we're her safe spots when people come over. Um, she's overwhelmed. She wants to hide, but we blocked off stuff behind our chair so she can't get back there. So she'll come on our laps, and that's fine. And Lucky, she's the royal bitch of the bunch. Uh, growls and grumbles and this that wants to get her way. Yeah, she's a real bitch. Then we got Chibs, who's the mini Aussie. Um, for some reason, I get up or do stuff. He likes to bark and growl at me and stuff. He bit me once when we're trying to get him to go outside to go potty. He bit me once. And ever since then, he's been barking and growling at me. So I've been working at him with treats to get him to come up, get on my lap and stuff. The barking has been less, the growling has been less. So now he comes up onto my chair and he starts pawing at my hand for me to give him a treat. you know. Then Bosky and Thor, they're our oldest dogs, the Chihuahua and the Dachshund. And Bosky won't have much to do with me when it comes to laps, unless the wife is off doing something. Then he'll come up. But um, my wife, that's his favorite. My wife is his favorite. Thor will come up onto my lap at any given moment whenever he wants. Snuggles comes up and lays on my chest. Snuggles right in. He'll play with me and all that. So there, each one has a different personality. Each one is special in their own way. You get to know, after a little bit, you get to know each one of them, what they do, what they like, what their personalities are. Like I said, Fidget's the shy one around people, and she's a little skittish. Even now that how long we've been watching her, she's still a little skittish. Sudden movements scare her, so we take it easy. Love them up as best we can. You know, so so, and I put this banner up because it kind of goes with A.B.A.T.E. Pass along what you know to new and young writers, so they don't make the mistakes that we've done in our life in when we started out. Pass on what you know, um, and help them learn. Get them in, point them in the direction of safety classes, safety writing classes, and tell them what it's all about, why you want to take one, and what you're going to learn when you do. In the beginner course, you need to have your permit before you take that class so that you're legal to ride. Even though it's in a parking lot, you still need that permit. And they will, the first night is classroom, your classroom stuff. And then the next 2 days, you go out and you ride in that parking lot on a course. And, you know, at the end of that third day, you take your rider's test. and you pass it. They give you the thing. You go down, turn it into your DMV, and you get your endorsement. I don't need to do that because I already have my endorsement, but it's good to go back and take the beginner class again as a refresher for the things that you know. You don't have to take the exam because you've already done it. You've already got your endorsement. Then move on to the advanced class and so forth and so forth. Like I said, they reimburse you half. So, um, again, I thank y'all for coming out, uh, hearing what I had to say about A.B.A.T.E, and throwing me your questions, asking me this, that, what we do, what fundraisers you do, stuff like that. Go check out your local A.B.A.T.E. If you don't know what it is, go to your state A.B.A.T.E, like A.B.A.T.E of Wisconsin or Indiana or Minnesota, and navigate it to find out which chapter you're going to would belong to, or attend meetings. If it's a little hard to find, email the state rep. They'll get that answered for you. So y'all take care. Take it easy. For those of you who can ride, keep the rubber side down and shiny side up. For those of us who will be riding the next few months, peace, love, and respect to you all. Y'all have a good night. Thank you.